Now, in every political move, there are always beneficiaries and casualties. When any move is done in politics, there are people who will reap from that move, get the benefits, but also there are people who suffers from a decision or from the movement. And with the removal of Benjamin Bolmel and the reinstatement of James Wani Igga as the Vice President for Economic Cluster, there are similarly people within the government, within the SPLM and even the current unity government, who get to benefit from it politically, but there are also those who are pushed to the disadvantaged side. And in this video, I want to give you a name or names of people who are likely to be the casualties of the move taken by the President of the Republic of South Sudan to bring back James Wani Igga as the Vice President for Economic Cluster. Now, if you have been very keen and observant of how President Kiir does his decrees, how he removes people and bring them back and take them out, if you have been consistently following, you may realize that Kiir has one tactic or one strategy. And the strategy is that while he does his hiring, firing and recycling, he maintains one thing, and that is either regional balance or making sure that he does not keep so many members of the same family serving in the same government. One, he wants to maintain regional balance in his appointment, but also he doesn't want to keep members of the same family serving in the same government. If one is serving, he makes sure the other one is removed. And the typical example of that, if I'm to give you, where Kiir has to balance between members of the same family, you can easily know it from the time when he dismissed the then Minister of Defense and Presidential Advisor, Kol Manyang Juk. When he dismissed Kol Manyang Juk, he reinstated the daughter as a Minister of Trade. And up to now, as Kol Manyang is sitting in the political wilderness, the daughter is reaping the fruits or benefiting from Kol Manyang dismissal. A second example in point is the time when President Kiir decided to remove James Wani Igga from the position of Vice President Economic Cluster. After a few days, what he did to maintain that balance in the family, he took out James Wani Igga and reinstated the son of James Wani Igga, I think is the executive director for South Sudan Roads Authority or something of that kind. That was meant to maintain the balance so that he doesn't keep the same members of the same family in the same government. And to maintain regional balance, one typical example that can clearly indicate that Kiir has been using this throughout his appointment, making sure that he attains regional balance, especially within the presidency, is when he removed James Wani Igga, replaced him with Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, And since he understood that removing James Wani Igga from the presidency and bringing Mel to the vice president position, he would have taken a person who represents the Equatorial region out. And to bring up about that balance, what he did was that he removed the vice president for the service cluster in the names of Abdel Bagi, and brought in an Equatorian in the names of Josephine Lagu. That is how he maintains the regional balance. And that time, Josephine Lagu benefited from the removal of James Wani Igga. That's why I'm saying in every political move, in every political decision, there are always casualties, but also there are beneficiaries. And I've typically given you the examples of those who benefited from the suffering of others. I've given you that. Now, with the reinstatement of Wani Igga as the Vice President Economic Cluster, there are similarly people who are likely to be casualties. As Wani benefits, there are people who will suffer from his reinstatement. And in this video, I want to give you specifically one name of a person within the presidency that I feel will be a victim, will be a casualty of James Wani Igga's reinstatement. And that is none other than Josephine Lagu, the daughter to the former liberation soldier, Joseph Lagu. Josephine Lagu is likely to lose her position as the vice president service cluster simply because Kiir will want to bring about that regional balance. It won't look unfair to have two Equatorians in the presidency in the names of James Wani Igga and Josephine Lagu. It won't look fair at all. Now, to bring up that regional balance, what Kiir is going to do, perhaps it is not that I am confirming it, but based on my analysis, we are likely to see Josephine Lagu removed, leaving a way for another member from another region, perhaps Bahr el Ghazal region, mainly Bahr el Ghazal region, because we already have Upper Nile represented, the Equatorial region represented. We are likely to have one from the Bahr el Ghazal region reinstated to maintain that regional balance. And the person who is going to suffer from that is likely to be Josephine Lagu. That is what I am predicting. In the next few days, we might see another decree issued that removes Josephine Lagu from her position and brings in another person from either Bahr el Ghazal region, but as a member of the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, because in the presidency there should always be one position kept for the South Sudan Opposition Alliance. And we are likely to see either Hassan Abdel Bagi reinstated or another person else coming back into the political scene. Thank you.